I have a ton of animals, and by a ton, I mean like roughly 30 reptiles, amphibians, and invertebrates all together. So how do I manage them all? How do I make sure that they are all on a good care routine? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Zoe, but most people know me as 𝑘𝙪𝙾, and I am a reptile keeper and educator, and I have a lot of reptiles. Disclaimer, because I am an educator, I have an education business, I'm also self-employed and work remotely, so I am home quite literally all the time. I am capable of taking care of this many animals, but the average person probably is not. I did have this many animals when I worked full-time as well, and it was very, very difficult. I also went to college for exotic animal husbandry, zoology. To put it simply, the name of the actual major is very long. So to make it simple, basically zoology and animal husbandry is what I went to school for. So I have pretty much made taking care of this many animals my life, and it's all I do. The average person likes to have a job, a life, go places, so I do not recommend this for the average person. So now that we've gotten that disclaimer out of the way, how do I manage it? I've learned a lot of tricks over the years, but today I'm going to talk about 10 ways that I manage this many animals and how I keep it fresh and keep it exciting. So first and foremost, even if you only have a couple of reptiles, get some timers for your lights. That way you don't have to manually turn them on and off. A couple months ago I actually posted, I think it was a reel or a TikTok, I think it was a reel, of a day in my life for like a morning in my life, POV of a reptile keeper type of video. And in it, I clicked on like 2 lights. I literally have like 3 sets of lights I have to manually turn on just because I cannot reach the outlets at the moment, or I was out of timers, or whatever the heck was going on when I set up my setups. Once I have everyone in the basement, everyone will be on timers. I've got all the smart timers and everything to plug them into. There's just a couple that when we moved in, I didn't set them up at the time. And I had so many comments being like, girl, what are you doing? You need to put them on timers. And I swear to you guys, the majority of my enclosures, like 90% of my enclosures, are on timers. There's just a couple that I have to do manually to get timers, and it will save you time, especially when you have this many animals. Could you imagine me having to go around and click lights on for 30 different enclosures? Heck no. Timers will be your best friend. And also make sure that you are turning on the lights at the same time every day, and you're staying on top of their day and night cycle and making sure that they're getting the same amount, and it's not going to be like, oh, 12 hours of light one day and 16 the next day and 10 the next day. It keeps you a little bit more consistent, keeps the animal's care a little more consistent. Number 2, very similar, is getting automated misters or humidifiers if you have species that need a little bit of a higher humidity or need a humidity spike during the night or early in the morning. Now, I wish I had more of these actually. It would make my life easier. Right now I have 2. I've got 1 automatic mister and I've got a humidifier. I do have another small automatic mister that I need to set up for somebody just to make my life easier. But I've got 1 for my Chinese water dragon, and then I've got the humidifier for my pancake tortoise because she is still very young and I have to try to keep that humidity up. Going around and having to hand spray everybody that needs that humidity spike or consistent higher humidity levels takes a lot of time, especially when you have to consistently refill one of these. It's such a small task, but having to refill this is like the bane of my existence. Like, I will run this thing dry and I will get every drop of water out of it before I'm willing to refill it, because it's just such a tedious task that I hate, and I don't know why. So that's one of my goals, is when we set up everybody down in the basement, when the renovations are done, I want to set up a really good misting system where a lot of it is taken care of for me. This is especially really good to have if you live somewhere that's a little more dry and it's a little bit more difficult to stay on top of humidity levels. All right, number 3 is to spot clean. So as you can imagine, having this many animals means a lot of cleaning. It's just easier to stay on top of it day to day. If, you know, you walk around, you see something and you clean it right on the spot. It just keeps their environment a little bit cleaner, makes your life a little bit easier. If you just, you know, you see something, clean it up, done. The next thing you can do is create a feeding schedule. And this is something new that I'm doing. kind of new that I'm doing. I've tried something like this before. In case you guys are new here, I used to work as a zoo educator, which means that to get into the zoo field, I had to do a lot of internships. So I've been at different zoos, aquariums. I worked as a naturalist at my local nature center as head of animal care. So I've been in a lot of different animal places, and I always steal little tricks and tips from those places, things that I like. So this is the most recent thing I've done. So I created this based off of the feeding charts at the nature center where I worked, where we had all the different animals on one column. We had the days of the week, and then what everybody gets fed, or if they get fed, what they get, what supplements. Now for years, I've always just kind of gone with the flow. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, all right, this animal needs bugs, this animal needs this animal needs some rapashi, this animal, what am I gonna feed this animal today? Did I feed this animal yesterday? This animal gets fed 3 times a week. How many times have I fed this animal this week? And it gets really complicated the more animals you have with all different feeding schedules and different needs. And I've been trying to come up with a good way to keep track of all of that, and I finally, after all these years, got it. So this chart just has my, can't really see it because of the reflection, but also there's animals on here I don't yet have. I just kind of wanted to see how they would fit into the feeding chart of the animals I currently already have. So I don't want to give you too much of a close-up because I don't want to give anything away. But I've got my chelonians, my lizards, my amphibians, and my invertebrates. By doing this, I can kind of plunk in those feeding days and get everyone's days lined up, which then gives me days where I get a little bit more time back for myself to be able to do different things like film videos, edit videos, do whatever I need to do, fill Etsy orders, whatever I may want to do that day, read a book, I don't know. So that's kind of just like a brief overview of that. If you guys want me to go more in depth on like what I did here, let me know in the comments and I'll do like a special video just on my feeding chart. But creating a feeding chart that you can follow every day is a really good way to make sure that you are staying on top of their feeding and that they are getting what they need to be getting. Kind of similar to that, the next thing I'm gonna say is be efficient with your food. So if you have lots of animals, meal prep, plan. So when I buy like greens and whatnot, wash all the greens, chop the greens, and store them so they're ready for the week. Chop up all your veggies. I have one of those like food processor things that I got for Christmas just for the animals, where you put the vegetables in and then you hit the button and it's got the little knives that go around and chop up the food for you. That has been so good because squash is good for reptiles and I hate cutting squash. This has made it so much easier to feed my animals squash. But I'll also use it for the green beans, peas, all sorts of stuff. And I love mine because it's really pretty and it's blue. So I'll put my Amazon storefront link in the description below because it came from Amazon and I'm obsessed with it. So I will make sure that link is in the description below if you guys want to go check it out or shop for another one. If you don't like the blue, I'm sure there's other colors or just like a generic kitchen looking one that's silver or black or something. So having that all prepped means that when I go to make my salads, all I have to do is just grab all the different things, put it in a dish, dump some calcium on it, not dump, sprinkle, dust some calcium on it, and feed it out and we're good to go. It saves me a lot of time. Things like Reptilinks, the majority of my animals are on Reptilinks now, and that has saved me a lot of time as well. So what I actually want to start doing is getting a vacuum sealer and taking all of the different Reptilinks. Now that I have a feeding chart and I'm like, okay, this day is going to be a Reptilinks day, these are the different Reptilinks, I want to start packaging those different links together and vacuum sealing them. That way all I have to do is like take that pack out of the freezer and thaw it out, and there's my links for the day ready to go. Because right now all of my different types of links are packaged separately and I have to go through and like pick out each one. If I could just like have them vacuum sealed for the day and just pull out that one pack, there's all my food for the day, that would be awesome. So I'm playing around with that. But Reptilinks has saved me so much time because they're so calorie dense and you can get them with vegetables in it or insects in them. And so I just pull out a link, I let it thaw out, and then I feed it out. They don't take very long to thaw, and it's just been so easy. The animals love them. The animals are just, they look so good on them. They've got good bowel movements on them. I can't say enough good things about Reptilinks. If you want to check them out, definitely go do that. You can use my code 𝘬𝙬Reptiles to save $5 on your purchase. I have been amazed at the time that I have saved feeding because of Reptilinks, especially with this many animals. Okay, breeding your own insects, whether that's, you know, you got mealworms, roaches. I have bred superworms before and then I failed at breeding superworms, but I need to try again because that would be really awesome. But if you can breed your own feeder insects, that will save you a lot of money as well, and you'll always have bugs ready to go, because it can get expensive to feed a lot of mouths. So if you have bugs breeding and you don't have to buy bugs, that saves a lot of money. Buying in bulk, sometimes you get better deals that way. Other commercial diets like 𝘼𝙑𝙨 you can make and store in the fridge, or what we did at the nature center was we'd make commercial food. We had Missouri, but you can do it with 𝘼𝙑𝙨 too, is where you make it, you cube it up into all your servings for the day, put it in a little baggie and put it in the freezer. That way when it's the feeding day, you pull out the bag, you let it thaw out, and there's all your food for the day ready to be fed out. That saves a lot of time too. So being efficient with your food will help a lot as well. The next way that you can manage a lot of reptiles and keep them on a good care routine is to swap out their food and water dishes for things that are dishwasher safe if you have a dishwasher. I am very fortunate that our house has a dishwasher. It was one of the things I looked for when we were house shopping, and I have been progressively swapping out all of my animals' dishes for things that are dishwasher safe, because it just saves me a lot of time when it comes to cleaning. You know, I'll go around and I'll collect their water dishes, I'll load up the dishwasher and I'll run it, and they come out sparkling clean, ready to go. Similar with food dishes, I'll go around, collect food dishes, throw them in the dishwasher, they come out sparkling clean, ready to go. Because before I was having to like throw them all into the shower, or like stack them on the kitchen sink and like scrub them all, lay them out to dry. That has been a more recent thing I've started doing, and it has been amazing. It has been a game changer. And they don't have to be ugly either. A lot of dog and cat dishes are dishwasher safe. You just have to check the bottom of the bowl to look to make sure it says dishwasher safe on it. But you can get some cute ones. I've gotten really cute like serving bowls from different places like Home Goods, TJ Maxx. That way you can still have something that looks nice in your enclosures, but is easy to clean. The next tip for you is to figure out what is going to be better for you in terms of cleaning. Are you someone that likes to just spend a whole day going through all the enclosures and getting them cleaned? Or is it going to be better for you to do a couple enclosures here and there? What is going to be your way of wanting to do things? If you know that, then you can plan, okay, this month, this is going to be my cleaning day. Let me make sure I'm stocked up on new substrates. I've got my cleaning supplies. I've got garbage bags. I'm ready to go. Or you can be like, you know what? Okay, this week I'm going to do these 2 enclosures. This week I'm going to do these 3 enclosures. This week I'm going to do these enclosures, and kind of scatter them out. So maybe like once a week you're like spending an hour or 2 cleaning, as opposed to your whole entire day. For me personally, I'm a little bit of both. It depends on the day. Some days I'm like, all right, let's go through every enclosure. Let's get it done. I'm getting the whole room done. And other days I'm like, you know what? Let's just do these 2 enclosures. So like the other day I did my 2 big boa enclosures, and I was like, done. That's it for the day for me. We're doing that. We're good. We're done. I set up my laptop with some Netflix, watched Bridgerton while I cleaned those 2 enclosures. Bridgerton was done. Enclosures were done. I was done for the day. So kind of establishing a plan, what it is you prefer to do, that will kind of help you stay on top of things, because you'll know what to expect from yourself. Tip number 8, this is kind of like the feeding chart, but that's creating a daily checklist. I also stole this from the Nature Center. Now I used to do this, and it was in combination with my feeding. It was my first attempt at trying to do some sort of like schedule. I think I first did this when I went to Tinley Park, because I took like a week-long road trip to go to Tinley Park, leaving my sister and my brother with the animals. So I had a list for each day, and it was like AM and PM. So this is what you do in the AM. You spray these enclosures, you feed these animals. PM, you spray these enclosures, you feed these animals. You know, once a week I had like in there also like water the plants that are inside of the enclosures. Another day is water your house plants. This was okay. It didn't really work well for me personally. This feeding chart is definitely gonna work much better for me. You know, spraying down the gecko enclosures is something I do every day, so I don't feel like I need that written down on a checklist, because it's just something I know to do every day. But things that are a little more intricate and a little more involved, like feeding, I like having that chart. But if you're someone that likes checklists, you know, having a daily checklist. All right, these days, you know, we have to spray whatever enclosures, we have to water whatever enclosures, and whatever plants are in the enclosures. If you're a checklist person, having like a schedule, a weekly schedule with a checklist that you can maybe go around, maybe a whiteboard, put it on a whiteboard, and you can like check off the different things, and then at the end of the week erase, and you're ready for the next one. That can be helpful for a lot of people as well. The last 2 kind of go together in a way. Number 9 is to stay organized. Staying organized will help keep you a little more sane. When this room is a mess, I feel like I've lost my marbles a little bit. A clean reptile room makes me ready to work, makes me ready to get things done. You know, and staying organized isn't just keeping the room clean. How are you organizing your supplies? And we're gonna go to number 10 and then come back to this one a little bit. So number 10 is to make it fun. Reptile keeping is supposed to be fun. We do it for the enjoyment. But you know, when you're doing the same tests every day, it can get a little monotonous. So we have to find ways to make it fun, to make it exciting, you know? There's not a lot of exciting things about cleaning an enclosure when you do it all the time. So how are we gonna make it fun? So now we're gonna jump back to number 9, keeping it organized. How are we gonna keep organized and keep it fun? Things like fun kitchen utensils, like I was talking about, my food processor is really pretty and blue. I get excited to chop up vegetables to feed the animals with. Getting new fun Tupperware to store food in is a lot of fun, makes me want to food prep. My latest project was putting together a brand new cleaning bin with all new cleaning supplies, and it just got me really excited to clean because I couldn't wait to like use my cleaning bin and all of my new supplies. You know, and then trying new things, trying different foods, different companies, new enrichment items. If you keep it like new and fresh and exciting, you have things to look forward to, things you want to try, things you want to do. It's going to keep you excited, it's going to keep you motivated, and it's going to help you stay on top of caring for your animals and keeping them on a really good care routine as well. Alright, that was my 10 tips for managing a lot of reptiles and trying to keep them on a good care routine. Do you have any other tips I may have missed? Leave them in the comments below, because we're all about learning here, so we can have this discussion and everyone can learn from each other. As always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!